Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you guys my Power Tool Dragon Morphtronic Yugioh deck profile for October 2018. It's been actually, I think, a couple months since my last Morphtronic update. The only difference between this deck profile and that one is after that deck profile, a lot of you requested that I do an update to the deck that focused more around Power Tool Dragon and the equip spells that it uses, along with the other Morphtronic monsters, which I always wanted to do that deck profile. That version seemed like a lot of fun, and after playtesting and trying out the different combos I can do with it, I wasn't wrong. You have so many different options and more of a powerhouse in Power Tool Dragon when it's used along with the Morphtronic cards. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. Now, for the Morphtronic engine, that pretty much remains the same. I run 3 Morphtronic Self-Ons. For those of you that don't know, Morphtronic monsters all revolve around different effects, whether they're in attack position or defensive position. And with Self-On, you roll a 6-sided dice when it's either in attack or defense, and then excavate that many cards. While it's in attack position, if you reveal any Morphtronic monsters, you can special summon that monster to the field, ignoring its summoning conditions. If it's in defense, you can check the top cards of your deck. So I love having Morphtronic Self-On. Just in attack position, you get off so many different special summons that's so helpful. Even if you get like another Self-On, you can just special summon that one and then reuse the effect. Or if you have machine duplication, getting out all your Self-Ons, then you have the option to roll the dice and then get more special summon options off. And sometimes if you miss the dice and you don't get a Morphtronic monster, you have that option just to go for another Self-On. So a definite 3 of in the deck. It sets up so many of your special summons. And I also run 3 Morphtronic Boomboxen. The biggest and important thing about the Morphtronic deck is having enough, level 4 and level 3 monsters, the level 4s being the non-tuner in this deck, and the level 3s being the tuner, to make your most important synchro monster, which is Power Tool Dragon. And with Boomboxen, it can attack twice while in attack position and while it's in defense once per turn. If a face-up Morphtronic monster is targeted for an attack, you can negate the attack. I like it for that aggressive play it can do while in attack position, and while in defense it's just good protection, especially with your equip spells. Being able to bump this card up attack wise means that you could just attack twice and hit for some pretty big damage in this deck. And I also run 2 Morphtronic Slingin. With Slingin while in attack position, once per turn I can tribute 1 Morphtronic monster except Slingin to destroy 1 card in the field. So a very powerful card while in attack position. And when in defense, if it would be destroyed, you can destroy any other Morphtronic monsters you control instead. I like it. It has that pop option to get over some pesky cards, but I wanted to keep a pretty consistent level 4 number, like I said, with Boomboxen and this, just to have those level 7 synchro options available to you. And I also run 2 Morphtronic Radion. Radion boosts up your attack of your Morphtronics by 800 while in attack position, and while it is in defense, it raises the defense by 1,000. So can't go wrong with this card bumping up stuff, especially when you use it with cards like Boomboxen. Being able to bump it up and then use the equip spells as well, just for high numbers, definitely does come in handy. It always puts Radion at 1,800 attack when its effect is not negated. So you have a pretty big Morphtronic monster on your side as well when that comes up. And 2 of the new ones I'm running, since it is the Power Tool Dragon build, is 2 Morphtronic Videon. While in attack position, this card gains 800 attack for each equipped card equipped to it. And while in defense, this card gains 800 defense for each card equipped to it. So if you're using any of your equipped spells that we're running in this deck, for example, the very powerful Power Tool C and D, you just bump it up with its own effect and the spell card, or United We Stand, you name it. So comes out to be a very powerful level 4 monster if you don't end up going for the Power Tool Dragon plays you want. But still, this option available to you is quite good. And for the tuner monsters, I want to run 3 Morphtronic Scope in, but I only have 2 sadly. So I'm subbing in 1 Remoten. Remoten all around is good too, just for the search options if you need it to happen. But I like it more in my Quasar Morphtronics. With this version, I want to run 3 Scope in as your main level 7, because while in attack position, once per turn, you can special summon 1 level 4 Morphtronic monster from your hand, destroy it during the end phase. And while in defense, this card, basically its level becomes 4. So you have the option to go for your level 7 play right then and there. While you summon this in attack position, then special summon one of the many options for your level 4s, and there is your Power Tool Dragon right there. So definite 3 of. Opening up this and your level 4 means that you can get to Power Tool Dragon, and then you can have your option to search for the equip spell you want as well, which, like I said, is the whole main point of the deck. As for your other tuner monsters, I run 3 Morphtronic Smartphone. Alone, this card is amazing just because it's an easy special summon by banishing a Morphtronic in your graveyard. Mixed with Selphon, you have the options to go to Formula Synchron, other Synchro plays, you name it. This card definitely does come in handy. It can search for Morphtronic cards by rolling a dice. It doesn't have to be a monster. It can be even a spell card that has Morphtronic in its card name. So you can, reveal those top cards, search it, add it to hand, you name it. And while on defense once per turn, you can roll a 6-sided dice, and then you basically look at his main cards at the top of your deck, then place them on either the top or bottom of the deck and anywhere. I like its attack position play more just for the add, and usually when you special summon this card, you have the other monster available to you to go for. And if you use it in a synchro with Boomboxin, well, it's a level 5, you can go for an Aturia Beast, which shuts down a lot of decks, and very easy to do if you have those graveyard plays to just normal summon the Boomboxin out and then special summon the Smartphone. And also, obviously, if you have Power Tool and you special summon this card out, you can go into Lifestream Dragon. But Lifestream, most of the time, is situational, but we'll get to that later on when we get to the extra deck. And then lastly, for the monsters, I run 1 Morphtronic Lantron. Just 1 Lantron in this. It helps for level 1 plays, but other than that, I didn't want to see it too much because, like I said, this is the Power Tool version. So having your level 7 plays open to you, but still having the options for protection plays with Lantron definitely does come in handy. And that's it for the monsters. With all the cards in the deck, I wanted to keep as pure of a Morphtronic build as possible. All the monsters just run so well together. Any other ones would kind of just disrupt the plays you have for the deck. So I wanted to just keep it with those. As for the spell cards, I run 3 Morphtronic Repair Unit. I love this spell card. It's probably my favorite Morphtronic card. It's searchable with Smartphone, and you can send 1 Morphtronic from your hand to the graveyard. Select 1 Morphtronic monster in your graveyard, special summon the selected monster, and equip it with this card. The equipped monster cannot change its battle position. And when it is removed from the field, destroy the equipped monster. But most of the time, I love it just because you can reuse Selphon after you send it with its effect and for the reroll. So having this option available for you just gives you more special summon options with those effects for sure. So can't go wrong with 3 of this card in the deck. Excuse me, just talking too much about Morphtronic monsters. I get off topic with it, and then I end up coughing. But for other spells, 3 Junk Box. It's another revival card. This one, it doesn't even negate the Morphtronic monster's effects. You just special summon 1 level 4 or lower Morphtronic from your graveyard, destroy it during the end phase, but you're going to make use of the monster anyway, so the destruction effect isn't something you really have to worry about in the deck. So love 3 of this for sure in it. And I also run 2 Desynchro. This is for cards like Formula Synchron, or if the Power Tool play doesn't work out, like let's say with some testing I was playing against Phantom Knights and they used Fogblade, stopped the Power Tool equip search, so I just used Desynchro, got my monsters back, and then just remade it, and then went for the equip again. It was quite trolly, but glad it happened. Desynchro definitely does help, and when you're using it with Formula, being able to draw, then Desynchro, then go back into it again, draw again, just helps get through the deck faster also. And I'm running 1 Morphtronic Accelerator. I had this card at 3 before, dropped it to 1. It's searchable. You can get Smartphone out a lot faster. So with this option, you return 1 Morphtronic from your hand to the deck, destroy 1 card on the field, and draw 1 card. It's situational most of the time. Good for an option when you're going second or if your opponent already has stuff on the field. But other than that, you don't really want to see it too much when you're going first and getting your plays together. And I also run 2 Machine Duplication. I run only 2 of this just because we have the option mostly just for the Selphons. You want to be able to grab it. Most of the other time it just becomes, discard fodder if I'm going for any Nightmare plays with the deck at all. But other than that, I guess I just want to reach it with the, Selphon for those special summons. And I also run 1 Monster Reborn and 1 Soul Charge. With these Morphtronic Repair Unit and Junk Box, we have 8 cards that special summon from the graveyard. So you just keep your plays going and going, which is so great with this deck for sure, now that we have Monster Reborn and Soul Charge options available to you with those other 3 for sure. And also 1 for 1. This is for easy special summon of Selphon to the field, which sets up so many of your plays. So getting rid of the 1 monster from your hand to the graveyard doesn't even really matter too much since you have all those other graveyard special summon options. And then just being able to get them back is definite with this deck. and one Foolish Burial. This is mostly, once again, for those special summon options, putting into the grave, or if I need a target for Smart Fawn. If I have it normal summoned already and I can banish the Morphtronic, I send 2 special out Smart Fawn, and then I get a search with it as well, and then normal summon that monster. I do like when that play comes up. And then for the most important part of the Power Tool Dragon deck are the equip spells. I run 2 Power Tool C and D. This one you equip only to a Power Tool Dragon or a level 4 or higher machine type Morphtronic monster. While equipped during your turn, it gains 1000 attack, and its attack, the effects of an attack target are negated during the battle phase. And during your opponent's turn, your opponent cannot select a monster other than the equipped monster as an attack target. An opponent's monster that battles the equipped monster is destroyed at the end of damage steps. So equipping this to Power Tool or any other level 4 Morphtronics sets up a very protective play if you don't have options to use your other weaker ones like Smart Fawn or Cell Fawn. Great protection there, but also great offensive power with Videon bumping up its attack stats very high, and then same goes for Power Tool Dragon. And then with Power Tool's additional protection effect, you can't go wrong with this card in the deck. And then for a little additional backup for the equips, I run 2 Moon Mirror Shield, just for the weaker monsters, especially when you equip it, being able to get rid of some of your opponent's other pesky monsters. You just have these options available to search for with Power Tool Dragon, so you want those available to you and in good numbers. That's why for the last of the equip spells, I run 2 United We Stand. If you wanted to move around some of the numbers, if you want to put in maybe a 3rd Power Tool C and D, you could maybe take out one of the Moon Mirror Shields, but I like the 2/2/2 option available to you with the deck. It just gives you different options, because Power Tool, I think I've been calling it Power Tool, it's Double Tool C and D, I apologize about that, is good for, like I said, the level 4 machine type Morphtronics or Power Tool, but United We Stand and Moon Mirror Shield also work with your other monsters if you need them for that. And that is it for the main deck. We'll move on to the extra. I want to run 2 Power Tool Dragons. I only have 1 in the deck at the moment because I only have 1. But this is your main synchro that you'll go for in this deck. Once per turn, during your main phase, you can select 3 equip spells from your deck. Have your opponent pick one of them at random, add it to your hand. Return the other equips to your deck. If this card be destroyed while equipped with an equip spell, you can send that card to the graveyard instead. So good protection against Power Tool Dragon being destroyed with Power Tool C and D, and then if you get United We Stand as well, you can bump this card up attack pretty high, and then just have protection overall as well when your opponent tries to destroy it. It's one of my favorite and most fun plays to go for. Power Tool Dragon's probably one of my favorite 5Ds dragons, just because of how he looks for sure. But we'll definitely bump him up to 2, and I'll show what I would take out of the deck to put in a second one. I also run Lifestream Dragon with the effect of being able to make your life points 4,000. This card comes in very handy late game. You just need 1 Power Tool Dragon and 1 tuner. So with Smart Fawn and Power Tool, you can easily make this happen. Then if your life points are too low, adjust it. Even like there are times when I use Soul Charge, dropping my life points down as low as I can, then being able to get out Lifestream just to put it back up definitely does come in handy. And you can also protect this card by just banishing equip cells from your graveyard as well, which you have plenty of to run in this deck. And I also run 1 Formula Synchron. Talked about this play earlier with this card, so definite need for it in the deck. Same with Samsara, Dragon of Rebirth. Level 5 options available to you. Same goes for Chambara. And Naturia Beast. Underworld Fighter Balmung is just a level 4 option. If you want to run Armory Arm, you can try that as well. You don't see level 4 Synchro Summons as much, but with Scopin and Selfon, they're still possible. For your other level 7 plays, I run 1 Black Rose Dragon, 1 Moonlight Dragon, and 1 FA Dawn Dragster. Now, with this, you more than likely would either take out the Moonlight or the next option which I run, which is High Speed Roid Kendama, just so you can have level 6 options for you. But most of the time you go for the level 7 or 5. So if you want to take out either this or Moonlight Dragon for the second Power Tool Dragon, those would probably be your best options. And then for the Link monsters, I run 1 Link Karibo. This, with all the level 1s you run, definitely does come up a lot where you can just, bring it back to the field, or just have an easy Link summon if you have a Selfon that was unsuccessful on the field. And also 1 Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Nightmare Phoenix. Like I said, with the Ditch for machine duplication, this definitely does help. And 1 Landfornicus. It's generic and good arrows just to get out a bunch of Synchro monsters. Successfully done with my machine duplication Selfon. I was able to get out Naturia Beast and Power Tool to both of those arrows. So that was probably one of my most favorite plays that I did with the deck. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I definitely enjoyed making this deck. It was a lot of fun for sure. And definitely try out both versions of my Morphtronics. They're definitely a lot of fun. But other than that, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Twig out.